Hello everyone, I'm Brian Croydragon and welcome back to Vox Adventures. So, what should we do? How about we just go this way? And forgive me if I'm not talkative right now. I'm gonna try and think of a subject to talk about. Or at least a few. Yeah, so yesterday I watched Tat, a three-part mini-series about Tutankhamun. Some people call it a poor man's Game of Thrones, but I like it better. Even Jogia as Tutankhamun, Ben Kingsley as I, Lonzo Nosey as Horemheb, and also featuring Silas Carson as Akhenaten. What's not to like? We want a bit more historical accuracy, but we can't forgive the omittance of the detail that Tutankhamun's all 7 of his vertebrae were fused together. And then Alvin Jogia would really either have to really commit and spend the entire time not rotating his neck, instead just rotate his torso, his entire torso, or I don't know, they would have had to have done something. Have I seen many portrayals of Tutankhamun on screen? No, just 2, and one of them was as a spirit. That, of course, being in the animated series Papyrus, where he was voiced in the English version, because you know it was a French-Canadian co-production. He was voiced in the English version by Marcel Jeannin. I'm not exactly sure on the pronunciation of the surname, so forgive me. Yeah, Akhenaten was also in that show. Again, we only saw him as a spirit. Yeah, but Akhenaten, I mean not Akhenaten, I and Horemheb were not. We never saw their spirits. And, well, obviously I picture Marcel Jeannin as, I picture his voice on the rare occasion. It's his voice I hear on the rare occasion that I come across Tutankhamun in fiction. You know, in literature. And it's also whoever it was who voiced Akhenaten, whose voice I hear. But due to a general lack of portrayals of I, it's of course going to be Ben Kingsley I hear. And why not? He's one of the best actors out there. I mean, he's the best actor to have ever played Moses, for God's sake. No, not Charlton Heston and not Val Kilmer. I mean, they're good too, but Ben Kingsley is just the best. And as for the case of Horemheb, well, look who I have to choose from. It's either the infamously average at best Victor Mature. And yes, I have seen The Egyptian. I've seen the film adaptation of The Egyptian. I've seen Samson and Delilah. I own Samson and Delilah on DVD. And I've seen more than enough performances from Nonzo and Nosy to know he's the superior actor. Just give me a moment here. Excuse me. Yes, the film adaptation of the Egyptian, what can I say, except, it was very much lacking in good performances. They were either average at best or just plain bad at worst. The only good one came from Gene Simmons. No, I do not mean the guy from Kiss who's... well, that's pretty much his only bit of notability besides working as an executive producer on the show My Dad the Rockstar. I am, of course, talking about the Golden Age film actress. Oh, jeez. Okay, now there's a spawner that should be destroyed. Right. If there were torches, will they not? Someone must have come here and put these here. But aren't we supposed to destroy them on sight? I mean, I can come back this way, if need be. But let's just destroy it now. There we go. Now let's carry on. Actually, it's been a while since I've seen the Egyptian. I may have to re-watch it to re-evaluate my statement, but yeah, pretty much so far the only performance of note came from Gene Simmons. of course there's an opposite problem. It's when you surround an average actor with superior actors. One example, well, two, I'd say, would be Errol Flynn and Kevin Costner, both when they played Robin Hood. I have no illusion that Errol Flynn was the best Robin Hood. He really was not. There were better actors to come. For instance, David Robb in the 1982 adaptation of Ivanhoe. And even Errol Flynn found the role to be boring, so you can pick up a bit of that in his performance. He's basically playing your standard 1930s swashbuckling hero. And there are, of course, better actors in the film. Olivia de Havilland as Maid Marian, Basil Rathbone as Guy of Gisborne, Ian Hunter as Richard Coeur de Lion, and a few other actors playing some minor roles. But in the Kevin Costner version, that's where it really proves to be true. I mean, you've got Morgan Freeman as Azim, Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham, Nick Brimble as Little John, Geraldine McEwen as Mortiana, you end up having Sean Connery as Richard Coeur de Lion. And that's really the case. You surround an average at best actor with superior actors, and they kind of steal the show. Yeah, the actor is supposed to be our protagonist. Yeah, that was also a problem in the 1939 adaptation of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You had Maureen O'Hara as Esmeralda. She's the actual protagonist of the story, not Quasimodo, but of course you have Charles Laughton as Quasimodo, who's a better actor. You also have Walter Hampton and Cedric Hardwicke as the Frollo brothers. Yeah, because I say that because in the original novel, and those that do not omit Jehan, or as he's renamed in the 1939 film, Jean, yeah, there's actually two of them, and they're brothers. You also have Edmund O'Brien as Grengar, and while it's not as excessive as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, you still have a average actor being surrounded by better actors. And with the 1982 film, of course, we got that too. I think it was Leslie Ann Down as Esmeralda, and who else did we get in the film? Anthony Hopkins as Quasimodo, Derek Jacobi as Claude Frollo, David Suchet as Clopin Trullifu, and as the chief torturer Jacques Charmolue, John Gielgud. Yeah, pretty hard not to have the show stolen from the protagonist, from the leading actor, when you have those actors in the film. So after that, I watched an episode of Walking with Dinosaurs, the first one to be precise. I'll carry on tonight with it. I'm going to watch 12 Years a Slave later. In which Chiatron Ayofor gives an excellent performance, but he always does. He's one of the best actors out there. And there's definitely no case of him having the show stolen from him, but of course, he has done some show stealing. I am, of course, referring to the 2019 remake of The Lion King. And it pretty much runs into the same problem as the 1994 original. Average actor as the protagonist, better actors around it. I mean, in both you have James Earl Jones as Mufasa, and the original you have Jeremy Irons as Scar. In the remake you have Chiatron Ayofor as Scar. Both actors of equal ability, both very good actors, and of course they steal the scene. If there's not an actor of equal ability in it to share it with them. Well, he clearly didn't do any scene stealing in Doctor Strange, because, of course, you had Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange. Also a fantastic actor. Yeah, fantastic actor who's played roles such as Hamlet, Richard III. But of course there's also a inversion of this. It's when the leading actor is the best actor in the film and everyone around them is average at best, just plain bad at worst. The result is them having to carry the entire film themselves. I am, of course, referring to the 1939 version of Dracula. The English version, where Bela Lugosi had to carry the entire film himself. Oh dear God, is that ever an example? Another example I can think of, but it's really not a case of the leading, well, that's one of the leading actors. In this case, it's the 1954 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, where James Mason as Captain Nemo had to carry the entire film himself as the best actor in it. And this is no knock to Kirk Douglas, but James Mason was just a better actor. It's not a knock to Kirk Douglas, it's not a knock to Peter Lorre, it's not a knock to whoever the hell that was as Aronnax. But the fact is, James Mason was just the better actor. Oh, James Mason. I was introduced to him through 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. My dad was in the hospital. He had broken his leg ice skating. My mom had got him 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You know, from a video rental store. Yeah, not sure if it had been Blockbuster or the one down in the plaza. And that night we watched it. And yeah, sometime later, my mum had gotten me an audiobook from the library. It was The Lost World by Arthur Conan Doyle. And of course the individual reading it was none other than James Mason. Oh, for God's sake. So it was an old audiobook. He died in the 80s? Yeah, so it was an old one. I don't know, I'd call Marlon Brando a star. I'm not sure about Glenn Ford. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I've never even heard of Glenn Ford. Oh, come on. I'm gonna have to start traveling with a shovel. When did I next see James Mason in a film? Might not have even been a film. I think it was in the 1979 miniseries for Salem's Lot, where he played Straker. And had more of a role than the actual antagonist, Kurt Barlow. Next I saw him in the 1982 adaptation of Ivanhoe, the best adaptation of the story, where he played Isaac of York. And there was a lot of actors of equal ability in that film, so he didn't really steal the scene from anyone, and I'm pretty sure Sam Neill, who was also in that film as Brian the Broad Gilbert, his name of course joined just to Brian Gilbert in that. I think he was actually a pupil of James Mason, and that might be the only time they ever acted together in a film. And of course, I also saw him in The Fall of the Roman Empire, where he played Timonides. I've actually reevaluated my opinion on Stephen Boyd's portrayal of Livius. He does an excellent job. Yeah, jeez. Why can't I get this encoding overload figured out? Sophia Loren as Lucilla, on the other hand, yeah, she really is an average actress at best, just plain bad at worst. And while I do have I would like to do a phone cast reading of the novelization for The Fall of the Roman Empire. The character I would like to read would be Marcus Aurelius, who is of course played by Alec Guinness in the film. Yeah, his performance really impressed me. It impressed me more than Richard Harris's did in Gladiator. Why do I bring that up? Because of course they played the same person. They both played Marcus Aurelius. Well, The Fall of the Roman Empire is just a better film in general. Sure, it's loosely based off of history, but it's still a more historically accurate. It's got some cases of artistic license. You know, for instance, Commodus was most certainly not a legitimate son of Faustina Minor and a gladiator. That was actually a creation of an invention of the writers of the Augustan history, which is considered unreliable. And it's known that Marcus and Faustina Minor Marcus Aurelius and Faustina Minor were mutually devoted to one another, so Faustina was never unfaithful. And given how contemporary historians noted a resemblance between Marcus Aurelius and Commodus, yeah, the whole illegitimate son of a gladiator thing really doesn't make sense. You know, but regardless, Christopher Plummer does give a better performance than Joaquin Phoenix does as Commodus. how far? Might be an indication of how long it's been since I've gone this way. No sign of rain yet. Oh, there we go. Randolph Hearst was still alive in 1975? Good lord, how old was his daughter Patricia? No, wait, that's just Randolph Hearst, not William Randolph Hearst. William Randolph Hearst Sr. died in 1951, so this must be his son. Okay, hold on. George Randolph Hearst William Randolph Hearst Jr. George Randolph Hearst Sr. Randolph Hearst. Why does the name Randolph keep showing up? Okay, so this is the son of William Randolph Hearst, and that would be his granddaughter. Okay, let's carry on. Oh, forget it. Speaking of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea area, I'm thinking of watching that tomorrow. I mean, there were adaptations before it and adaptations after, but it's the only one I've got. Yeah, funny thing about Nemo, Captain Nemo, he was originally supposed to be Polish. And while he would be revealed to be Indian in Mysterious Island, there's still a bit of Polish things about, there's still a little bit of Polish left over in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And I think Mysterious Island. So, guess old ideas die hard. And I guess you could make the argument that the James Mason portrayal and, you know, any portrayal that has Captain Nemo as right rather than Indian. You could say that that the character is supposed to be Polish, but there's not a lot to indicate that's the case now, is it? He's ambiguously Polish in those versions, I guess. End stone. Not sure if I ever mentioned this, but on the Halloween mashup pack for Bedrock, the end stone is round brain. So the end is literally a brain, with the Ender Dragon being a skeleton dragon. The Enderman, Slenderman. It's kind of surreal. Yeah, I watched Walking with Dinosaurs back in the day, on Discovery Channel when it originally aired. I mean, unfortunately, for North America, Kenneth Branagh's narration was replaced with someone else's. I can't remember the guy's name. But, yeah. Hold on. Why on earth am I doing this now? Avery Brooks, there we go. An actor equal to, Kenneth Branagh, but then of course when Prehistoric Planet was made, which was a, you know, they took the series and cut out anything that wasn't suitable for younger audiences. They had of course redone the narration, redone again with Ben Stiller, who is of course inferior to both Kenneth Branagh and Avery Brooks. You know, it's a bit funny, Avery Brooks's narration is what audiences were introduced to, but now you can only get Kenneth Branagh's narration here in North America. Thank you, BBC Video. I don't even understand. It's still the English language. Why replace Kenneth Branagh with someone else? They did the same for Eyewitness, replacing Andrew Sachs with Sheen. Michael Sheen. You know, Apocalypse Now. I don't mean his bumbler of a son, Charlie. And yeah, Michael Sheen's narration is what I was introduced to, and you can still get the Michael Sheen narration on DVD. But on YouTube you can actually find both Andrew Sachs's and Michael Sheen's narration, depending on whichever you fancy. The only one I had on VHS was, of course, the dinosaur episode. So I guess it's Michael. For that episode, I might prefer Michael Sheen. Okay, back we go. I quite liked that Eyewitness series. It was something I watched as a kid, but of course, as I said, I only had the dinosaur episodes, so after the show was off the air, that was all I had. And I've really enjoyed returning to it on YouTube. It's a very good show. Some of it might be a bit, some of the information might be a bit dated now, but it's still very good. The stock footage, the Eyewitness Museum, it's all so fantastic. Oh, I can wait 37 minutes for lunch. I'm fine. I don't need a snack. Excuse me. I remember getting a Eyewitness DVD from the library. It had 2 episodes on it, the cat episode and the dog episode. Me and my mum watched it in the evening. And Alex was just watching along with us. He was mesmerized. And of course my mum thought he'd go running when we watched the dog episode, but no, he stayed. In a way, the Eyewitness series is the original video essays. And they cover a wide range of things. They can get poetic, there can be a bit of a horror theme. And they cover a wide range of subjects, even in the same episode. In the shark episode, you get into a police procedural. Yeah, the shark episode. The fact is, most sharks aren't dangerous. You won't see a surfer attacked by a basking shark, a horn shark, a rayon shark, a robogong. But there is, of course, the 5 that realm. Who? hold on. Just gonna pause this. Okay, so it would seem that I have a follower on my Xbox account. I have no idea who this person is, and they were sending me invites to play Minecraft Bedrock, and of course I have no idea who they are. I'll have to ask some of my friends if they know who this person is. Because if there's no one to vouch for them, And this is unconnected. Interesting. I actually got 12 Years a Slave for Christmas one year, from my mom. I've unfortunately not read the book, but that has more to do with less being able to not being able to find it, and more with the case that my mom thinking that in this era buying a book about slavery isn't a good thing to do, even though it's literally a man's autobiography. Yes, a man's autobiography. Oh, good lord. Sometimes people just have no logic. No, it's too bad. Patrick Stewart's 1997 stage production of Othello was never filmed. Alright, Othello, with everyone else being black, when are we ever going to see that again? And of course Patrick Stewart was Othello. Yeah, but still, when are we ever going to see that again? I don't know. I've seen my fair share of productions of Othello. Yeah, I have actually seen the version of Lawrence Fishburne. I got the DVD. And my personal favorite is still the version with Anthony Hopkins. The Lawrence Fishburne version is good, but it's a bit lower. Yeah, it's a bit lower. There's been better Othellos, better Iagos. Yeah, Bob Hoskins, still the best actor who have ever played Iago, at least that I've seen. And in the case of Othello's ethnicity, I don't know. The word Moor was used interchangeably for dark-skinned people in general at that time, with words like African, Indian. You get the idea, but there's also the theory that Othello may have been a light-skinned, dark-haired person from North Africa. He might not have specifically been black, and it's debated whether he's supposed to be black or Arabic, but you know, it's really the way I see it. There has to be an actual agreement on what his ethnicity is supposed to be. And for God's sake, if it's interchangeable, if the word was interchangeable with words like Indian, for God's sake, give us an Indian actor as Othello. Ben Kingsley, he would have been great. He'd still be great. Patrick Stewart with a white Othello and everyone else being black. I'd still like to see that done again. Well, has it been done again? I'd like to see that done again. Because for goodness sake, when are we ever going to see that again? We've had an all-black Julius Caesar and all-female Julius Caesar. Were they ever filmed? I don't think so. In the case of the all-black Julius Caesar, I think that actually had a setting change. I mean, the Patrick Stewart version of Othello, the setting was changed to an African country. The all-black Julius Caesar again changed to an African country, because the fact is, prejudice is universal. Things like what happened in Julius Caesar is universal. For God's sake, why restrict it to just Venice? Why restrict it to just Rome? Just because that's what the text says? Well, I've heard of a production of Othello, which went for costuming of the American Civil War, but kept the general, but didn't change the text. It still referred to Venice, Cyprus, all that. Oh, good lord, what do I leave off? And with what minutes we have left, let's continue on. Othello actually isn't my favorite Shakespearean tragedy. That would be Macbeth. Others would be Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet. There's a lot to choose from. And I know they might be considered the standard ones, but they're really that good. And that would be all for today. I'm Brian Croydragon, signing out. Stay straight.